Okay. I hope everyone's doing good. Let me turn some stuff on and off here just so I'm not listening to myself. There we go. It's always better when I'm not listening to myself. Now, for me at least, the music feels just right about there. Let me know if it's too loud for you guys. But that should do it. I hope everyone is doing well on this fine Thursday. I'm a tad quiet, am I? How about now? See? the marvels of technology. Hopefully that will do it. Let me know if it's enough. Well, it's going to have to be because we're at full volume. Okay, so all right, we have as you've already pointed out in the chat, we have a great model tonight, a slightly heavier model, and I want to talk about a concept before we get going with her, because there can be a little bit of confusion around this, and I just want to make sure hopefully there's some clarity. Okay, now you're the voice of God loud. Too loud? See? Let me know. I'm going to assume that I'm okay if it is too loud, but you know, I can turn it down. Okay, let's get cracking here. We've got some important business to get to. When we normally approach a model, let's say, I'm going to say a standard model, a leaner model than we have tonight, right? It's trying to be, just hopefully you get the spirit of what it is that I'm saying. Okay. Normally we start our process, right? We start with, let's say, a box representing the upper torso, and obviously a box representing the lower torso too. You've seen me do this 1,000 times. I'm actually going to turn that music down a little. It's a little distracting right now. Okay, because we're in classroom mode. Okay, so normally we start off, right, with a box representing the upper torso and a box representing the lower torso, something like this, right, give or take. Now normally this top box, what does it represent? It normally represents the the exterior edge, let's say, the outer perimeter of the rib cage, right? So normally from here, we'll do something like this. We'll find the arch of the rib cage, and we'll come down and we'll get something looking like that. And as you can see, the edge of the rib cage comes to the edge of this box. And that is generally 99.99% of the time, this is kind of our process. Now, when we have a heavier model, your first question could be, okay, I don't see where the rib cage is in relationship to the exterior edge of the form, because obviously the model's carrying more weight, they're carrying a fat pad or a layer of fat. That means that it's hard to determine exactly where the rib cage is sitting in that space. So what I do in that case is I will still draw the box representing the upper torso, let's say something like that, right? Might be slightly larger, but it's going to be something along the lines of that. And it's still representing the exterior edge of the form, but it's not necessarily representing the edge of the rib cage. So if we drew the rib cage in here, you know, we'd probably be looking maybe something like that, right? But we're coming out to here with the box. But for me, visually, finding the relationship of this exterior or this outer edge of the form, where the form turns in space, regardless of where the rib cage is. The rib cage could be half this size. I don't care. I want to find this relationship. You'll get a sense, you'll develop a sense for where the rib cage is sitting in that space, but it is trickier with a heavier model than it is when we know for certain that, if you know, we can almost kind of see the rib cage, we can see the ribs sitting right next to the surface of the form. Okay, so when I'm approaching these next few poses that we're going to do, I'm going to be looking for this exterior edge of the mass, the volume, and I will be mindful. To be honest, I'll take it one step further. Even when I'm like roughing in my rib cage, there's a very good chance I could end up drawing that out further than it actually sits. it's all about getting us where we need to get to, right? Whatever works for you in that case is going to be your method. But that is Rubenesque. Here's the thing, Patrick. Rubenesque, I'm not crazy about that as a term, because I think it's reflective of a certain period in art history, and I'm not sure that it necessarily describes exactly what it is that I want to say. Yes, Rubenesque would check that box, but it's not a term that I want to gravitate towards, because I want us to be thinking in the here and now, not living with old ideas. Okay, let's draw. Sometimes I draw a mutant ribcage that is way bigger than it would be in reality. You and I both, Lulu, and that's okay. Does it get you to where you need to go? That's really kind of what matters, right? Okay. Let's draw. I'm going to get the first pose up. We have a standing pose here. I believe the modern word is thick with 2 C's. I can always count on you for keeping it real there, Lulu. Thank you. Yes, there you go. Okay. For me, the meat of these poses, excuse the pun, is 2, 3, and 4. What numbers 1 and 5 are like warm up, warm down poses. So I don't want to spend. Let's keep going. We'll get us started on our way with this, but I really don't want to go more than 10 to 15 on this first pose. I want us to get comfortable with her overall proportions. But I think the fun poses are in the middle of the pack, so to speak. Okay. Can you down the music? I can down the music a little bit. I want to be able to hear it. All right, it's down a little. Hopefully that's good enough. All right. Let's draw. So apart from the fact that we've got this rib cage kind of idea that we're looking at, or we're adapting, nothing else about my process really changes. In saying that, I'm going to be looking very early on for the center line, because the center line is going to really help us understand the volume and the mass of, in her case, her tummy as its own volume in its own right. So Robert asks, do you always use the same pencil to sketch and then make a stronger outline? Yeah, I'm working with a 6B, General's Charcoal 6B, all the way through the process. Okay, so I'm going to just find just a very loose center line. I may end up pushing that a little bit. That'll get me where I need to go. She's got a lovely supporting leg. I'm drawing a little larger, so I'm not going to be drawing the contact point with the ground, but I would encourage those of you starting your figure drawing journey to do that, so you can understand the relationships of the forms. All right, once again, Acis, iliac crest, nothing changes really. It is obviously there's going to be more mass sitting on top of those ideas. Okay, there's our rib cage. The way that this arm I'm probably going to add mass to this, but I want to be mindful of the way this arm is sitting on her oblique and her hip, that kind of area. So you see this arm, we see nothing of the upper arm, we just see the forearm to there. Manubrium. Clavicle. Once again, we've got a fat pad sitting on top of the pectoral, right? So we have to adjust for all of these things ever so slightly. We got compression point here. And then we've got our oblique. It's sitting there. Rita asks, would you normally show what you're drawing? Rita, the reference is available for members. So if you're a member of the channel, which you can be if you hit the join button, you'll see a link in the community chat that will bring you to the references hosted on my website for every stream. So every bunch of people actually draw along. Okay, so let's look at the her tummy, which is sitting right, our aces is here and here, right, belt line. The mass of her tummy is sitting over the top of that, is sitting in here, right, and then it's kind of, it's going in there. So this is where it's really useful to get in the belly button, which you can see I'm actually pushing out this way, and I want to find that center line that's kind of coming down this way, then sitting in here, and then we're coming down like so. Might even push that a bit further, but so look at where my original center line was and look at where it is here, right? So this is one of the really important uses of finding that center line, the true center line, right? You've kind of got two center lines. You've got, it's like having a true north and magnetic north, or whatever the two differences are, right? Terrible analogy because I don't know them. But we've got two center lines. We've got the center line of the skeleton, let's say, right? The torso, the lean torso. And then we've got the center line of the mass, the volume that's sitting on top of that. And they are shifted, as you can see, from here to here. It's very useful to be able to think in those terms. And we just got such an awesome array of design language to choose from. You know, every type of model brings nice surprises, nice kind of ideas. And in this case, we've got a model that's really bringing I'm just going to move my manubrium up there just ever so slightly because I think I just need a bit more real estate. But we've got beautiful design language opportunities here. There will be a temptation with a model like this to think that you're seeing far more rounds than you actually are. Now, why have my... Don't know if you guys are still getting the music. I don't think so. Why has the music died? How weird. Hopefully that comes back. What is going on? Why have we lost the music? Well, that's a terrible development. I'm not even sure what to do about that right now. Can you guys let me know if the music is... Take care, Tina. I think we've lost it, so I'm going to just turn it up there. And you're just going to have to get the ambient music through my microphone. That's strange. You should have your own playlist on Spotify. I do have my own playlist, Rita. We're listening to it. Carry on drawing. Okay, I'm going to. Right. Like it came back. It did. Okay. Very strange. Anyway. Would you be willing to share your playlist on Instagram or website sometime? I'm happy to, Margot. The problem is it's through a company called Epidemic Sound, and the company is not really designed for that type of thing. It's designed specifically for broadcast. So I would have to look at how I would actually go about sharing a playlist in that sense, if you know what I mean. But let me look into that, see if there's a way for me to do that. Okay, so we got this lovely arm that's sitting and resting here. Let's have a little think about how we want to handle this now. So coming down to there, something like that. got some really lovely shape language. One thing that I always find very interesting with heavier set models is the fact that, you know, we think of shoulders being kind of like a round, larger form, right? And then tapering into the bicep and the tricep. Whereas I find generally on larger models, like, so for example, we get this like mass of the tricep coming down here, but then the shoulder is almost kind of sitting, it's almost kind of, it's a smaller mass, if that makes sense, kind of sitting in here. Compression. I'm not even sure I could say we see it, but we feel the mass of this oblique sitting in here, right? Oh, we're at 15. All right, I'm just going to suggest a little, as I said, I really do want to keep this more warmy, uppy type of pose. So I'm going to just spend a minute or two just suggesting some core shadow ideas. I am ignoring the light source that is coming from this direction. Right, we have the two light sources. I want to focus on the one that's going to give me core shadow. It's going to help describe form. Okay. Yeah, I can't use things like Spotify, Margot, for royalties and that type of thing. I wish we could, trust me. I wish I could be playing my own playlist. That would be far preferable. I'm not crazy about this. Anyway, it's done. It's all right. That's our warm up. Expose. I was thinking of some of your own good personal ones just to hear. Oh, I see. Yeah, I could share some non-stream related playlists. Yeah, that I can do. I'll pop a link in the Discord to one of my favorite Spotify playlists. Richard's personal lists involve mostly death metal. Not quite, but well, I won't be. There are some playlists that I think people will enjoy more than others. I have some eclectic taste. Quite into death metal though. Okay, let's just take a second here. Reset the clock. What I like personally on larger models is with subtle ways body posture changes to compensate for weight distribution. Absolutely, you make a really, really good point. Which is heavier models carry their weight differently, their weight distribution is different, even in a resting pose. You know, it's understandable, right? That they'll stand there in a slightly different way to compensate for the extra weight, which makes it really enjoyable because we get to see ideas that we might not get to see with a lighter or leaner model, right? So yeah. Rita, I virtually met you yesterday. Taken by the mere process your approach. Thank you. Thanks, Rita. Well, very welcome and good to have you along. Okay, let's reset the clock. Have a tic-tac and let's draw. This is you know, I normally warn you when poses are going to be tricky. The next few poses are going to be tricky. Now we could make an argument for actually working landscape on this one. And before I start here, you know what? You could get away with working. You could get away with working portrait, but I'm going to work landscape because I've got a feeling I'm going to need. I'm going to need the real estate, or at least the feeling that I have the real estate should I need it. Makes sense. I'm going to need this for the next pose anyway, I think. Right? Yeah, so we might as well go landscape now. Okay. The shadows on her eyes from this angle are not flattering. Proper witch energy. That face is awesome alone, right? I wouldn't mind at all drawing with Vader and Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse I've heard of, Vader I haven't, but I don't think I've heard either of their music. There you go. Anyway, let's draw. Alright. Upper, lower. We want to allow just you know, her hands are coming down to what, about here. So I just want to be mindful of that. What a fantastic pose. And just so many interesting ideas. Just going to super rough, large ideas. This leg obviously going away from us, so we'll suggest that. Want to get her center line for her spine. Can't see really the sacrum all that clearly, and we can't even see the separation of the left and the right side of the buttocks here, the glutes, but I want to draw it anyway. You know the drill. Okay, so this rib cage is really coming towards us, right? Kind of like this type of thing. Could even, like, if we could see it, I feel like the top of her spine would be something like that, right? That rib cage is probably sitting something like that. We can see very clearly, we can't see the iliac crest, but we can see how that fat pad is sitting kind of on top of the iliac crest there. This general idea. So once again, why do we want to draw this? So that we can subdivide and we can understand what it is that we're looking at. So let's draw a bunch of stuff we can't see here. Sacrum. Sacrum is going to be sitting about here. Sacral dimples, once again, if we could see them, about here and here. And that iliac crest is doing something like that. Now, scapula, a lot of compression here. If we could see all of these things clearly, scapula is kind of coming up this way. And head of the humerus is sitting about here. Coming down, elbow sitting about here. Forearm coming down to about here. Yeah, you can see like where that humerus is. The head of the humerus is quite clearly there, right? We've got this almost like a protrusion. And then above that, we can see where the rib cage is kind of revealing itself in this section in there. We'll refine that as we go. Look at this beautiful shape for this arm. Get a fat pad at the top there, coming down. And then look at that weight distribution here, the tricep. The weight of the tricep and the weight on the tricep. Hanging. Fantastic. I'm just going to block it in for now, but I'm really hoping we can do this shape justice when we come to it. We've got this type of idea going on. Some crease, a fold here from where the scapula is pushing there, something like that. And then here where the rib cage is on this side, once again we've got this extra weight there. and on this side, can't see it, scapula's going to be sitting about here, coming up in this direction, and then this arm coming out this way, elbow sitting about here. Something like that. Even though her hair is kind of obscuring things a little bit. Got this kind of idea going on. Once again, nice weight for the tricep in there. So look at the way, like, at least for my aesthetic sensibility, there's a lot of straights. Right? Even though like there could be a kind of a temptation to think, okay, we're drawing like a round person, there's a lot of rounds, but we really want to try and find as many straights in there as we can for shape dynamics and for tension and for visual interest, right? So we go coming off the rib cage here, and we're just coming into the mass of the breast that's sitting here, coming down, seeing this region here, coming down, rib cage, and then down this way, something like that. Now, her head. Bum of her hair sitting there. Her ears back here. And her eyeline is kind of sitting something like that, right? And the nose would be somewhere in there. Hairline back here. Yeah. That looks like she might have a bit of pattern, right? Just, the overall kind of angles for these hands is just very unorthodox. Thumb coming out this way. All right, that'll get us where we need to go for now, right? Okay, I think I'm at a point now. Just for those drawing along, can you guys see, like down here, right around here, you can see her toes, 4 little toes. That is definitely something I would leave off, because they're just going to look bizarre if you draw them, and they serve no function, and they could very easily, we could be living in a world where those toes had been literally 1 inch over and we wouldn't be able to see them. So I'm just going to leave them off. All right, let's get cracking. Let's start with this central arm here. Just seems like as good a place as any. Sense of the mass of the clavicle there. Actually, probably could have toned this down just a tiny bit, so I'm going to just knock the weight of that line down. It's a bit more natural. Once again, look at the way I'm really trying to just stay away from curves as much as possible. Like if you make an analysis, and look, once again, you could make an argument that this is a stylistic choice, not for everyone, but straights. Really, everywhere that you look, I'm trying to bring in as many straights as possible. I just can't, at least for me, I can't emphasize it enough, the importance of that from a design language perspective. It's the only way that we're going to get tension into the drawing. You know? Suggest like where there's tension and mass, like, you know, this very subtle little line here and there can help kind of describe form. Just try and keep an organic kind of sensibility to things. The music's fun. Yeah, a bit of fun, huh? Keep us on our toes. All right. So now we just need to think a little bit about what we want to do with lighting. And I think for the most part we could probably follow, once again, I'm just going to go with one light direction, you know the drill. I'm going to go with the light direction coming from this side, from her left side, the dominant light. Yeah, let's give it a go, see what happens. Some strong. And some caution. In fact, I'm going to switch pencils. I'm going to switch to one of these lethal primo. I want some really chunky core shadows here, so we actually have, you shouldn't neglect it because the big scheme of things. So this crease that's coming from here that we can see right from her scapula, you can actually see it just kind of reveal itself right where we have this line here on this side of the form, this compression point. And it's kind of relevant because it's also helping us. Now here's the thing, look at these core shadows, right, as we come down this form here. Look at the way they help really kind of describe the box-like nature going from the side of the form round to the back. Right? It's a really tricky lighting situation here. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit, guys. Yeah. Should need a license to use these pencils. It's so aggressive. Look, I'm barely touching the paper. Do a little bit of blending and we'll get out of here before, well, we'll get on to the next pose before anyone gets hurt. I'm going to need a little kneaded razor pass too, just to help pull out some of the lights that got lost in this manic process. Must be something under my paper here. This dot keeps revealing itself. Alright, let's just, we're at 27 minutes. Alright. Not too bad. Actually just pulling out a little bit more, like if I just pull out some of the charcoal in here, yeah, especially down lower where we meet the cast shadow, you can get more of a sense of that kind of reflected light, right? All right, quick kneaded eraser pass, and we'll be done. Are you writing there, Lily? Japanese, is that? Cool. All right. Quick pass with the kneaded eraser. Just want to hit some of the lighter lights. Just try and get them back into the drawing. Let's leave it there. Feels like as good a point as any to stop. He says as he continues to play. Alright, let him go. Learning English is done by listening to people. Yeah, that makes sense. If the people that are speaking it clearly and slowly enough, then maybe that's something that you can do. The problem is when we're fluent in a language, we tend to speed up, right? And makes that, like when I was in Spain, like people speak slowly enough in Spanish, and I'm listening long enough, I can kind of get the gist of what they're saying. I guess probably most people can. But when they start speaking fast, it's like, forget it. It's absolutely no way. Okay. Let's keep going. Third pose. We're at about the halfway mark. All right. Love this pose. We got some challenges here, guys. Oh yeah. We have our work cut out for us. I'm switching from coffee to tea. It's that time of the evening. I've heard Brits speak another language that's absolutely not English. The English language comes in many flavors. Some a little easier to understand than others, for you and me both, let me tell you. Isn't that the lovely thing about language? It gives it character. Canvas dancer, pretty new here. Appreciate model and pose is fun, aren't they? Yeah, and you're very welcome, Canvas dancer. Glad to have you along. Okay, let's keep going. Now, just need a minute here just to collect my thoughts before I start drawing. Very boxy-like nature to this pose. Does that make sense? I want to try and capture that. Once again, straights are going to be our friend, right? Let's find our upper torso. I'm working super lightly. That light is not centered, is it? I'll just leave it. I think it's going to have to do for today. Upper torso. You know, I've talked about this so many times, but it always bears repeating. For me at least, when we get into heavily foreshortened or even slightly foreshortened pose, this is kind of a mix. I shift away from looking for long lines of action and long gestural lines, and I think more in terms of volumes stacked in front of each other. There will be a time to bring gesture in. Normally gesture, at least for me, is the first stage of the drawing. When I've got foreshortened poses, it kind of becomes the second/third stage of the drawing. There'll be plenty of time to add that rhythm. But right now I want to understand the stacking of the large shapes in relationship to each other. So for me at least, I can see a turn of this form here. Like if I just think of this in kind of box form, so to speak, I'm looking at that. Be careful I don't draw too big here. And we've got the lower torso sitting here, right? But there's a tilt going on that we want to be mindful of. The pelvis is kind of tilted towards us ever so slightly. Tricky pose. So, we know where this transition point here, right, going into here, this has to be the transition from the rib cage into the pelvis. So we know by that logic that our iliac crest has to be sitting about here, coming round to the asis, which is about here, coming around this way, right? Coming down, inguinal ligament, coming down this way, and bringing us to the that's not good. The headphone is gone. Okay. All right, something like that. The mass of this leg is sitting in here, the attachment point anyway. Once again, trying to think in large volumetric ideas. And then the knee sitting about here. Right, this leg is coming towards us. But we've really got this very square box-like nature to this shape language. Sitting in there, something like that, and then the leg then going away from us, the lower leg going away from us there. We'll use that as a placeholder for now. So with that in mind, if this knee is here, if we come up, we can see that the other knee is sitting about there, right? And same thing as this leg, upper leg very foreshortened, kind of coming towards us. In fact, I think I need to make, I think this knee is actually probably about here. And this one is about here. We're going to push and pull a little bit as we find our way here. That leg's doing something like that. Then the mass coming down here, attaching down here, right? Where we can't see. Attached to the pelvis, the lower torso. And then coming up this way. And so it's kind of coming towards us. Like that. And then from here, you get this type of rhythmical idea as the leg comes down this way. And the ankle is going to sit about here, coming to the foot. That's going to be sitting in this region. This type of thing going on. Oh, I never started the clock. Music's too loud. I can turn it down. There. Let me know if it's okay. Where's the reference photo? Tosh, if you are a member, which you can become, you hit the join button, $3 a month. You have access to every single reference for the live stream for the month that you're on. We have two different types of membership. Might be worth mentioning. I've had a couple of people ask me, can they see the reference from streams gone by? So we have a membership, and I don't know, it depends on the country you're in, but we have a membership that's about $3 a month, and that essentially gives you access to the reference for the month that we're in, right? And generally the month that's just passed. And then we have a tier that's a little bit more. It's like $7 a month, something like that. But it literally gives you access to every single reference page since the beginning, all 177 streams. So you can kind of pick which flavor you prefer, and you can sign up if you'd like. All right, so this is my overall blueprint. I just want to check and see if I'm comfortable with the overall large ideas here before I move on. I think I'm in the ballpark. So we've got kind of, you know, we want to look at like large landmarks, things that are going to be anchors I think we can talk about this transition here where the oblique sits in here, in this general volume. It's a pretty good anchor because it helps for measurement. It's really going to help provide a lot of information. Okay, that'll do for now. Once again, you know how I like to jump around and just, you know, iteratively kind of and slowly work my way up to kind of final decisions on things. Adding a little bit more. Now you can see I'm starting to think about rhythmical ideas, right, with this next pass, trying to make things a little bit more fluid. That's the general idea. So we've got a compression point here. Now if I come, yeah, my navel's roughly in the right spot there, I think. Maybe it's a little higher actually. It's probably about here. So once again, from here I want to find a center line, something like that. Takes me down to a tummy there. Yes, there is the Discord channel. You're right, Candice. Yeah, there are two tiers. There's the regular, and then there's one called, I think I called it the serious student, something like that. And as I said, it gives you not only access to every single reference page since the beginning, but also every single video. So, you know, for those that, and there are a few of you out there that are literally chewing through every single one. You know who you are, which is great. It's fantastic to know that there's people out there that are that into it. Okay, so Doug says this is exposing my weaknesses. Yeah, poses like this will have a tendency to do that, Doug. Yep, they keep us honest. I actually need to push things up this way a little bit, I think. So it's fine. So this breast is sitting in here. And then we have, it's essentially that kind of like latissimus, etc. So then, yeah, humerus is probably about here in actual fact, and then this arm. Tricky. And then forearm coming away from us. We can see her ear sitting right there. Kind of see her cheek sitting there. Okay, that I can work with at least. It's not perfect yet, but it's closer. Should not have been so eager to make that a dark line. But we'll fix that. So this that's sitting about there. Sorry guys, I'm kind of talking to myself here. So try and work out what's going on. So you throw those shapes in there and then draw on top of them. I'm telling you, at least for me, with the foreshortening, as I said, go to volume first, then rhythm. We flip up the order in which we do things. It just seems to make life easier. Because, you know, there's rhythm to be found in poses like this, but it's much shyer, if you know what I mean, as far as revealing itself. But now we can hopefully find some of those larger rhythmical ideas. This is why I'm such a big fan of us having a process, right? Rather than just kind of blindly trying to, you know, find our way kind of thing. If we have a process and we have a formula, we can repeatedly use it and adapt it as needed as we problem solve. Always trying to stay true to the idea of correct structure and anatomy. And hopefully having a bit of fun along the way. Right, gotta keep it fun. But there's nothing like a foreshortened pose like this to keep you honest and to remind you of areas that still need attention or development. Like, you know, you could make an argument to just avoid poses like this altogether, but that would be absolutely no fun at all. So better to equip ourselves with the tools to be able to handle them. least try. No guarantees. Little whisper of hair sitting in there. All right, getting there. Ah. Okay. The ear is definitely an interesting angle. Yeah, mine's not looking too hot. It's funny, maybe. Yeah, you have to have a process, in my opinion. If you ever want to get beyond just, you know, very, very basic. Okay, lighting. Lighting is a nightmare. I am going to ignore it. I am going to assume, okay, so there's a little, because I want to light this form properly. I'm going to assume I've got kind of a, let's say, for want of a better term, she's a sunbathing light. So I'm going to have a light source that, let's say, is coming roughly from above, this kind of angle, okay? Something like that. And I'm going to hit it with core shadows. Once again, I will start with the ones that make most sense. The ones where there's a turn of form, where the form turns from one side to another. Let's start there at least. Take it one step at a time. And we're kind of winging it, right? Like let's call it how it is. It's not going to be perfect, but hopefully we'll describe the form in a more concise way than if we just followed what's going on with the lighting source. So we've got the top plane. Remember, look right here, right? Very faintly you can see all the way back to the beginning of the drawing where I talked about the form turning from the top surface to the side, right? So with that, the spirit of that is where I'm going to put my cast shadow, my core shadow. So right, This will all be in shadow. This will be lit. And then here, pelvis is tilted slightly, so this is shifted from up here down to here. Right, so we can get the illusion of that tilt. Now we might want to add little pockets of light just because we are dealing with mass, right? So we might have a little pocket of light in here, for example. But then we'll have shadow on the breast and here. Hopefully this is all making sense. Either that or I've lost my mind and I'm just rambling to myself. Distinct possibility that that's the case. People also going to benefit from having a little bit of a cast shadow in here, on the ground. So what's going on with this leg? Okay, same type of idea. So where's our turn of form? About here. Something like that. Okay, so let's do some colouring in. All right. All right, so we have, for all intents and purposes, essentially ignored the light on the reference, because it was just not serving us, right? We need it to be in service of the drawing and what it is that we want to say. If something in the references or in the model, live model, is not doing that, we reserve the right to omit it or change it. In my opinion, this helps describe form in a much more simple, straightforward way. Okay? I think we can hopefully agree on that. Especially when a pose is complex like this, you need to do everything you can to give the drawing a fighting chance of reading well, right? And if you'd followed the reference, if you followed the lighting on the reference, you'd be in a world of pain, in my opinion, unless you were, very good chance that you could pull it off, but you know what I'm saying. Call it this one. I'm fairly satisfied with that. Complex pose. But at the beginning I said, at least for me, there's a very kind of box-like element in so many of these kind of choices. Hopefully you get a sense of what it is I was talking about with that. And I never started the clock. We'll have no idea how long that took. Well, we could figure it out. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Mine is fatter. Yours is probably more correct, Margie. I think I've leaned her out just a little bit, especially kind of in this section through here. So there's a chance that you were more successful with that than I was. But I'm happy enough with the overall balance. I don't think it reads as wrong, necessarily. So we'll take it. All right. That is that. Let's see. We've got... What do we have left? We've got 2 poses left. I'm telling you right now, I have all but run out of steam. We will continue, but I can't do another highly polished drawing. I would like to suggest that we go to a couple of 10-minute poses and kind of finish, maybe not quite gesturally, but no time pressure constraints. No, that certainly helps. But it would have been nice to know. Anyway, we can figure it out. But yeah, it's funny. Like, drawings like that, they can take a lot of mental energy. Okay, so yeah, I think in the spirit of relaxing a little bit, let's plan on a couple of 10s to finish off the proceedings. People call it a day. I guess I'll stick with landscape. The next pose might not be fun doing in 10 minutes. Let's see what we can do. We'll do 2 10s. I'm exhausted and have taken to the couch, have a 2-hour session later tonight. Margot, the fact that you're going to soldier on for another 2 hours later on, you're a trooper. That's great. I don't blame you at all. Okay, let's hit that timer. 10 minutes. Rib cage is going to be sitting about here. And the way that her should be a bit higher, but you can see like the volume of her tummy coming out this way, sitting in here. Right. Center line, it's coming out to here. That will do us for now. But it's nice to kind of get that grounded at least. And this arm coming up this way. Wrist is going to be about there. So we have, now using her navel as kind of like a guide, we come down, this is actually where her knee is, right? Sitting just about here, kneecap. So once again we've got this foreshortened upper leg. And it's kind of sitting in here. Tibia coming out this way. Something like that. She was sitting on a chair, obviously, or a box. With a drapery on it, coming down like so. Then the other leg is obviously straighter. Sitting about here. Something like that. We'll tidy this up a little bit in a minute. I think this is a little too long. It's going away from us a bit more. I think this ankle is actually in about here. So we'll adjust that. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't get too hung up on that hand right now. Pectoral coming down this way. The mass of the breast sitting in here. And this one sitting down here. other arm we can't really see. I'm guessing probably coming back this way, maybe holding onto the back of the box or something like that. Okay. So we got this great volume for this mass for the tummy. Sitting in here, this crease kind of doing this. Good stuff, great design language. Sitting in here, creasing there. I've done myself any favours there. Let's see. Yeah, maybe a little bit more like that. Then this leg. Yeah, and then this foot's probably about here. Where are we at? 8 minutes. Yes. Right, let's just kind of get, I know we've gone over time-wise. Let me just resolve this leg just a tiny bit, and then move on to the next one. All right, I think that'll do it for this one. Drapery, we'll fake it here a little bit. There we go. Don't look too closely at that. All right, done. Last pose. I am shattered. It's caught up with me all of a sudden. Well, not all of a sudden. Yeah, that lying down pose really took it out of me. Okay. Clean my hand quickly. Yeah, today's playlist was a little, it's the same playlist actually. Well, I just added a bunch of stuff to it, freshened it up a little. Hopefully it helped. It was way overdue. I add some new content to it, but I think it's been pretty good overall, all in all. We'll get sick of it though, don't you worry. It'll be another 6 months before I do that again. Reset the clock. Okay. Last pose. Let's do it, guys. Guys and girls. Okay, so obviously standing back pose, and we have the usual, that pencil's not going to work for me. And what are you exactly? You're a 4B. How dare you? Okay. Yeah, we find our relationship between our upper and our lower. Get this tilt going this way. Got a supporting leg coming down here. Spine. Scapula. Something like that. sitting right on top of that iliac crest right there, coming across. Trapeze coming out. You can actually kind of see the occipital ridge right there, right? Just the way her hair's pulled up. It's pretty much kind of, maybe the occipital ridge is a tiny bit higher than her hairline, but Max is a very good measurement tool for that. Trapezius coming down, deltoid sitting here. Going away from us. So yeah, we've got this great crease there. Beautiful transitions. This coming partly from the scapula sitting here. Just have the overall mass. We've got this next crease sitting in here. This is it's airline sitting about here. I'm not going to draw the interlaced fingers there. A, I'm too tired, and B, I think that we run the risk of just it being super distracting. What do we want to do there, though? Maybe we'll just suggest. I think I'm going to call it there. That's 10 minutes. I think we will call that. We will call that a day. that last one was a bit of a marathon. That was tough to, you know, to dig for it. But anyway, we made it. We made it, guys. Apart from Margot, who still has more to do later on today. Good for you, Margot. The rest of us can go into the weekend, or at least into tomorrow, knowing that we did a good practice today. That's always a nice feeling. Thank you, Amos. Appreciate the compliment from all of you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, guys. We did it. It's Thursday. Weekend. Almost tasted. And for whatever you might be doing over the weekend, I hope you have a good one. Try and relax. Take it easy. And of course, we will do this all again next week. And I'm not sure what we'll draw next week. I've said this for a couple of weeks running, but there's something in the air I want to mix. I want to change things up a little. I just haven't quite decided on how. You know, just variety and all of that. Anyhow, with all of that said, guys, thank you so much for joining me. As I say all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, there is no stream without you guys. I can't thank you enough for joining me on this wonderful journey. Take care of yourselves, all right? And I will see you all next week. Be there, or just be there. See you then. All right, I'm rambling. You see, this is what happens. I should know when to stop. All right, I'm going. Take care, guys. Bye.